and welcome to Shit They Don't Tell You.
And welcome.
A show where you can get tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of relationship advice and other cool things.
Other cool things, too. My name's Nikki Limo.
And I'm Steve Green. And today, indeed, we are talking about...
cats.
And most importantly, what things that you can do to mess up a good relationship.
Ooh, that's a good topic.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. So like say things are going good.
Yeah.
What can you do to mess it up real
You
good?
cheat.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty solid. I think that's like an instant deal breaker.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty normy. Everyone knows that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not super creative when it comes to how to ruin a good relationship. I think it's harder to like consciously, be thankful and maintain a good relationship.
That's very true.
I think there's so many things that you can do to ruin one.
Describe be thankful.
Like appreciating your partner and treating each day, like each moment, as if you're still dating, not like getting so cozy and lazy that you don't see your partner as someone that you have a crush on.
Very true. Very true.
I think that's like one thing that I see people get wrong is once they got the girl or they got the guy and they get married, they had the wedding day, the big show, it's like, now what? And then they just kind of devolve into roommates.
Yes.
And they stop like having crushes on each other.
Yeah, the roommate culture thing is really bad.
Yeah, and it's rampant. And I guess maybe because we're old enough now that people we know have been in relationships for a long time.
Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah.
Like a decade plus or whatever, that we are actually seeing the fallout or the
method gone wrong.
Yeah, everyone started out with their different strategies on relationships, and like you definitely see the divergence of where they were as a couple to now, based on actions and or non-actions.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's one of those things too where I worry about, I know everyone sets expectations too high, but I really do think that instead of doing that, because you always do that, right? You start dating somebody and like, I don't know if, I know you're like this and I'm like this, but like as soon as I start dating somebody, I'm like, okay, I could, I'm imagining our wedding day. I'm imagining all this shit because I'm like, is this possible with them?
Yeah.
And I'm excited.
Right. But you have to like see it in your mind. Like, can I see a future with this person? Like, will I feel the same way 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road?
And me, because I'm a fighter, I'm like, yeah, I will. And I'm going to bring it. And don't worry, I'll fucking bring it, right?
Yeah,
like all that shit, right?
Yeah.
But like then I find out when, like Mike Tyson likes to say, you have a good plan till you get punched in the face. And all goes out the window. And that's basically how a relationship is. It's like, you have those intentions. You can't wait for hopefully that next thing, at least for me. Because I'm like a romantic person.
Yeah, me too.
But then like some people are just like, well, I don't know what could happen. Maybe it's like completely going to suck. And like we all know people like that, right? But that's how I am, right? So then it becomes, okay, once I get punched in the face first, can I maintain this idea of them, right? Can I maintain this like where I want them to be? And maybe that's unfair.
What's something that feels like a punch in the face?
Someone talking trash about you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, behind your back.
Yeah.
And it's like your partner's talking about you, or your partner's sitting there while someone's talking trash about you, and they're not saying anything.
Right.
Like, don't say that about my person.
Yeah.
That's a huge one for me. Like, that's maybe like the biggest one for me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, other than cheating, like not to like, more nuanced one rather.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's probably like the biggest one for me is like loyalty.
Yeah, loyalty.
Like, knowing and like with that, knowing that you're going to have my back like I have yours.
Well, because there's a certain amount of trust, and when it's like a betrayal.
Yes.
That like you thought this person was going to have your back and then they didn't.
Yes.
Yeah, that would really suck. I think that there's two ways for a relationship to get ruined. One is like hard things, like the big things, the cheating, the trash talking, things that happen and it's like a one and done.
Yep.
Or slowly, painfully over time. Just the waning over time.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot of that cliche of it's not about the dishes in the sink.
Right.
You know, it's about the thing behind that.
Yeah. Like that scene.
Yeah.
With Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah. Well, that you don't want to do them, that you don't want to help that you're not helping the partner, that you're, maybe like it's something that's been important to them. If they've voiced something that's important to them and you don't think it's that important, so you just ignore it.
Yeah.
But because
and then
like,
you continue, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal.
Like it was a big deal.
But it's like, and they feel crazy for, harping on it. So they're not going to harp on it. Just resentment starts to build slowly over time. And then it's just they don't know why they fell out of love.
Yeah. I think that's a big one.
Yeah. I think resentment is a huge invisible force that you can sometimes trick yourself into thinking that you don't have it, or that you like, oh, everything's good. I don't have resentment. But if you didn't really resolve an issue with your partner, and that issue comes up again and again and again and again, and each time you kind of dismiss it, and so you're kind of basically saying, oh, I'm not going to set a hard boundary on this. Like, it's okay to do this, but I'm going to harbor resentment subconsciously.
Yeah.
It builds over time. And then, people always talk about love like it's a chemical thing, and it's natural for people to fall out of love, and like love becomes more of a commitment than a feeling or whatever. There's a lot of copium going on about about when you're in a relationship for a long time. It's so natural for the love to go away, but the partnership is about sticking with it, and it's almost like it's a business. That's after true. That, and a lot of people have come to that school of thought that, well, it's natural for the love to fall away. Like, love is supposed to fall. We're not meant to be monogamous. Right. We're actually we're not meant to do that. It's against nature. And
it's like a newer thing that we came up with. So
if we're going to hold on to commitments, then it's just going to be about the commitment. It's not about the love. And because I think so many people don't actively work on conflict resolution and courting your partner still, and continuing to date, and doing things that are like, what you would do in the beginning to impress your partner, I think that it has become very common to like lose the initial attraction and lose those feelings that you have for them. And therefore, when these couples get together, they're like, oh yeah, me too. That's natural. I think that just happens for people. And right. and they all get together and go, yeah, that happens. So like, yeah, it's not, marriage is about, holding through and, supporting the family and sticking to your commitments or whatever they say. And
sounds contractual.
I don't think it's true. I mean, I was open to the idea of people warning me about that, like where I'm like, okay, something to brace for. I hope that doesn't happen. But, if everyone's saying it, maybe that's just something that happens to people. And I'm going to do my darndest to not let it happen. But, maybe I don't know. Maybe they're right. I have never gotten to a decade plus with somebody. But being
until
now, being at the other end of it now, I mean, I'm more in love with you than ever.
Yeah, same.
And I think that, and then I'm trying to reverse engineer that so that people, like, what did we
share
do?
The technology with the
yeah,
world?
like, what did we do right that we can maybe tell people now for people that are beginning a relationship before it's too late. Like, these are the things that you can do to like water the plants,
Yes.
If you stop watering the plant dies. Yes. Yeah. So it's not rocket science with that, but it is rocket science, I think, for love, because if you're not shown healthy examples, and if every example in your life of a long-term relationship has been people falling out of love and just sticking with it because they made a vow,
or they have a kid or whatever.
Yeah. Or wherever the reasons are, they just think it's the right thing to do. Then you're just shown that over and over again, and you don't try to actively go a different route.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I worry about like I was saying before, like the expectation thing, like you have to earn that to me. Like the like let's get married. Like, let's like, okay, we're a good fit and let's get married.
Don't just do it because it's a milestone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or like, it's been a long time. We've been 2 years. Everyone says 2 years, or like get off the pot kind of thing.
Yeah. I think I've been very fortunate in that regard. I think both of us have, but like, I've realized that a lot of people grow up with their parents, usually like the mom, but like it could be either one, really, really like praising the wedding part. Like when you gonna get married? When you go, oh, the wedding, when's the wedding? Was the wedding?
Sure.
Like it was a really big part of them, like their childhood, of them imagining a wedding because their parents had a wedding and it was big and it was a celebratory thing and it was this whole thing. My parents didn't have that. So like my mom definitely never talked about a wedding or put any pressure on me to get married or like having a like putting all this. I feel like people put a lot of emphasis on the actual wedding day.
Do.
Like it's their, like it's a show. It's like their day. It's like it's my day because I'm getting married, and I never thought about a wedding that way. I didn't have any examples of it, so
I think too sometimes psychologically some people are like they don't get attention. And the wedding is a forced attention day for them.
Yeah.
And so they like focus the whole thing on that, but like it's not really about that.
So that's why when I'm trying to reverse engineer it, I'm like, well, there's a lot of variables here that I feel like made a different path that, and I'm not sure how much each one contributed, but I mean, I got a lot of attention.
Yeah.
I mean, we were both on YouTube.
Yeah.
I didn't feel any lack of attention. I didn't feel any, and also I'm not like, I don't really revolve my life around that either, but
Same,
like,
I don't give a shit.
but I also felt very special from you, like specifically when I think about my ex-boyfriends, there was like a lot of pull away where I felt like they weren't really giving me a lot of attention, and maybe I got like a little needy or whatever, but I never felt that with you. I never felt like a lack of attention from you. So when our actual wedding day came, it was like just so laid back.
Yeah,
like it was
cool.
so casual. It was like just having a party. I was so happy that everyone was there.
It was very chill.
And like I really didn't like I really didn't feel like it was about me, you know? I mean, it was about us, but I didn't really like see it as like, this is my day.
You were not a bridezilla.
No.
You're the last person I would describe as that.
I mean, and I had never gone to a wedding in my adult life before my own wedding. So
True.
I didn't have those examples to compare to. But yeah, so the emphasis really was on just like, I was just so happy our friends and family were there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in love with you, and we're like solidifying a commitment to each other. It was really exciting. I made a lot of shit I get off the pot jokes, but it was never like,
no, it wasn't real.
I never like needed the wedding day. Like I never needed the like I'm at this stage of my life and I need to be married by now. You know what I mean?
We also never coasted. Like I think that where people really mess up is they get married.
Yeah.
I got the commitment. I got the ring.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to coast a little bit. And maybe you don't even know you're going to coast.
Right.
Maybe you're just like, I want to do this for my partner, but I'm not going to. Maybe they'll understand or whatever because we work, we have to do things, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Instead of going like, no, I'm gonna like go out of my way to make sure I get it done to show them that I love them, and like and not taking for granted that they know that you love them because you guys are married. Like just like trying to put the extra mile, I think goes a long way. Yeah. And I think a lot of people miss that. Like in this entire thing, like they think I got it already. It's I booked it.
Yeah, there's no more steps.
Yeah, it's a win in the books.
Other than having a baby, which then I feel like a lot of people do because it's the next step. Like,
oh man, that's one of the worst things.
Yeah, and I think like for me, I've never done anything because I was supposed to. Like, it's never been like, oh well, I have to. Well, I'm supposed to do this, so that's why I'm doing it. I mean, I'm talking in every part of my life, and it wasn't me trying to be contrarian either, but like, you know, with school, I always thought I was going to go to like Stanford or Yale or like some like big university because I was like in the gifted program and everyone just like I was the academic student. I got a scholarship to go anywhere I wanted in California. And all the stars looked like they aligned in the path of me going to some prestigious college. And I didn't know where I wanted to go, so I went to community college first, and I was like, well, it makes logical sense to me to do that and then transfer to a university because you have to get your GED done anyway. Might as well do it like at home. In my hometown, Santa Barbara, is pretty good junior college too. So, and they have an easy transfer program. But I just realized that it wasn't getting me where I wanted to go. I felt like it was getting in the way of my career. And I feel like when you know what you want, when you're so solid on that, and you know from here in your heart, not from like your like, oh, wouldn't that be cool? Like I could be a star, you know, not from your like ego, but from like really your heart. I think following that is a path less traveled. But I feel like that is the method for sustainability in my mind.
Yeah.
Of no regrets, of never feeling like I strayed from my truth, you know, and it was hard. I think people sometimes think that I just advocate for like dropping out of college or whatever.
Yeah.
Like as if it's easy, or
well,
as
they
if
act like we want everyone to divorce and drop out of college.
Yeah, exactly. But when I tell you, like, it was not part of my plan like originally, and that it took a lot of thought and a lot of like making pros and cons lists and really thinking about like, am I sure about this? Because it seems bonkers bananas from my entire history of what I've ever said I wanted to do. And I think when you can strip away from societal structures, from like what your expectations you think society has on you, when you strip away all labels of like, oh, you're the academic one, you're the these are traditional female thing like roles or whatever, traditional gender roles. If you can strip down like political beliefs, religion, and just get to really who you are, and then follow what your heart is telling you to do. And if you can be like ballsy enough to do that and not listen to what society says to do, I think that you can't go wrong. And I feel the same way about relationships. I think that a lot of people are panicked about finding someone because their biological clock is ticking, and like they're already this age and they're not married, and they need to have kids by this age, and they're not even close, and they get in this like mentality of like, I need to be on this timeline.
Yes.
Which is a made up timeline. It's what society told you your timeline was. It's not real. It doesn't exist. Like, you weren't put on earth with a timeline.
What about people who are like, hey, look, I'm in my 30s, I gotta have a kid by 40?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, freeze your eggs. I don't know what to tell you. Like, you know, there's sperm banks. You can freeze your eggs. There's lots of things you can do. You can adopt later. But the one thing I wouldn't do is rush into a relationship with someone just because I need a partner to have kids with.
Yeah.
That is the absolute worst thing that you can do. I think that's a prison sentence, honestly.
But isn't that what like maybe half of people who have ever lived have done?
Yeah. And I think that's why I think there's never been like a book. There's no manual on like, here's how to form a healthy relationship. And there's not enough examples in the world. It's not taught in school. It's some shit they don't tell you. Yeah. It's fucking stupid, by the way, that they don't have interpersonal relationship classes. There was, in my brief stint in college, the 1 year that I went, I did take an interpersonal relationships course because I thought I was going to major in communications. But I took an interpersonal relationships course, and there was so much gold in that course that's like a throwaway course. It's like an elective. It's like not even like a core class, right?
Drop some beats. What did you hear?
I thought that everybody understood I statements.
Explain.
Are you familiar with I statements?
No, not off the top of my head. No.
Okay, so like when you're in a conflict with somebody, you don't come at them and go, "You make me feel so bad when you do this and you do that, and you always cause this pain. Like, you're causing my pain." It comes off as an attack, and the other person shuts down and goes into defense mode immediately. You will never get somebody to come around to your side by like attacking them like that. Either they'll try to appease you, but they won't really mean it, or they'll go full attack back at you, right? But an I statement is...
I do that.
I feel... it's the healthiest conflict resolution method.
Yeah.
And we touched on it a little bit in junior high, I remember, but most people don't remember this class, I guess. Or I took a very special class. I don't know, but like I bring it up because I felt like everybody knew that, like everybody is aware of I statements, and I would bring it up like, oh, you know, you do an I statement. And they're like, what's an I statement?
Yeah.
Well, the I statement is just like, you're taking ownership for your feelings and you're trying to find the solution with the person together, right?
Yeah, that's
so
great.
I feel sad, or I feel hurt when I've asked if you could do the dishes and you say yeah, and then it doesn't get done. It makes me feel like you don't think these needs are important, and they are very important to me, and it would be nice if we could just get...
And I feel like you're being a bitch.
Yeah, and I am.
And so that's a nice statement.
And I am being a bitch and
Thank
do
you
the fucking dishes,
for
asshole.
acknowledging my feelings.
You're welcome.
That's not an I statement. You can...
I feel like a bitch.
you
feel
okay.
I feel I'm being a bitch and still go do the fucking dishes, you fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Asshole.
Yeah.
No, but...
No, it does help. No, because I've been in many situations where just coming at it, like someone's coming at me hot, and then coming at it from like, oh, I see it like this. Where are you coming from? And it almost like puts a fuse out or something. Like people are like, oh,
yeah.
Oh, you're not as mad as I am.
Another thing you can do, especially when you disagree with somebody, like especially if it's like something like politically or whatever, like if you like really disagree with them, is to state what they believe in a like, so you believe XYZ, just so they feel understood.
Oh, sure.
And then you can say your piece or whatever, but nobody will ever listen to you if they feel misunderstood.
Yeah, that's fair.
If you're just going at them and you're slapping labels on them and you're telling them like, well, you're a misogynist because you think that women shouldn't be able to get abortions or whatever. Yeah. You know, there's lots of very controversial topics out there, right? Well, that's not what they feel, actually. They don't feel they are being misogynistic. So you can't just come out someone like that.
Yeah, it's hot.
What you can say is like, you think that life begins at conception and and that by having an abortion that it is murder. And the person can feel understood by you. It doesn't mean I have to agree with you. Right. Maybe I staunchly disagree with you, but at least we can come from a place of understanding. Like, I understand this is your viewpoint, and now I'm going to tell you my viewpoint. Right. So now you maybe, hopefully, will try to understand me. But I think a lot of people just fucking bang heads all day long, and you're not getting anywhere.
No.
Like, people don't understand that when they go on Twitter and just angry rant, that like you're either talking to an echo chamber or you're just making the other person more firmly set in their beliefs that you're against. Because you just sound like an asshole. You don't sound like you understand anybody or that you're empathetic to anybody. You just sound like you're very self-righteous and like your point of view is the end all be all.
Do you think that people ruin a good relationship with that kind of attitude?
Yes.
Yeah, I do too.
Yes, I think that that conflict resolution is something that should be taught in schools. And it's not. And it's bullshit, because I think that it's so important for we as a people are the fabric of society. Like, we have to make this shit work together. And same with relationships, but as a greater whole, as a collective, like, we are supposed to make some shit work together as a community, as a global force, right? And if you look outside, it's fucking nuts out there. It's like wars everywhere. It's fucking conflict city. Nobody can agree on anything. Everybody hates their neighbor, blah, blah, blah. Because like, you're not taught at base level how to understand people and then therefore work through conflicts together. And honestly, I'm starting to think it's on purpose.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, that's why like people go into conspiracy theories or whatever, but like, I really do think to a degree, that the more people are fighting, the easier they are to control. And like, when people are angry, you can navigate them towards a certain viewpoint.
I think the news is there for that.
And you can aim their anger at something that's misaligned, actually, like,
I think
misdirected.
the news is there to agitate you into just totally either apathy, right, or agitate you into just misunderstanding what maybe people actually want.
Because I try to always figure out like why, like what's the motive behind why wouldn't we teach stuff like this in school? Why wouldn't we teach basic finance skills and basic communication and interpersonal relationship skills at a very young age, starting like very young,
Well,
like 6?
Because Barclays doesn't want you to know about how to use money because they want you to get a credit card.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, it all comes, everything that I think that's important for us that would be really important for us as a society to know, and that we aren't taught in schools. I'm always like, why? And it always comes to money, it seems like.
Well, every time they do some vote to like, it's like, we want to simplify the tax code and make it so, yeah, we'll just send you your taxes and you know what to pay.
Yeah.
They always vote that down. Both parties vote that down because the lobbyists, the special interests are like, no, that's where we make our money. The complicated tax code, like there's $1 billion industry here.
Yeah. And every time they're like,
TurboTax is behind that, by the way.
Every time they're like, we need to go to war, both parties agree on it.
Oh yeah. Every time something's complicated, yeah.
So
but the minutia, right? Everyone, then it's like, okay, well, we all know how everyone's going to vote. Anyways, when we come back, we're talking about more ways that you could really mess up a real good relationship.
Yeah.
And more. Oh, and if you really like the show, nothing helps us out more than going to patreon.com/sticky.
STIKKI.
You get the show a day early. Also, I do a show on there called Crypto Corner every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
We do live streams.
Crushing the crypto market. Not to brag, sorry. Yeah, but we've been crushing the crypto market. Corner's already absolving their Luna losses. Unbelievable progress. We've been crushing this game. That's what we do. Proud of everybody out there, by the way. And yeah, we do live streams every month, and we do free roll poker tournament every month as well.
Yeah.
So we'll see you after the break.
Hey, thanks for listening to our podcast. We just want to take a break to tell you thanks for listening to our podcast, and if you want to rate it, that would be really awesome for us.
Listen, we're on break. We're not talking to you like podcast hosts right now. We're just talking to you like people.
As a friend.
And we just want to say, please rate the show because it helps out huge amounts.
Like, we're not desperate. We're like kind of desperate.
We're giving shout outs right now to all the people who are giving it ratings. So huge shout out right now to Brian Jorgensen. That was sick of you, dude. Thank you. God bless. Huge shout out right now to Mark W. in Springfield, Connecticut.
Back to our podcast.
Jenny Blythe.
Hey, back to our podcast.
In Tuscany,
and
Florida.
Back to our podcast.
God bless you. Thank you.
Steven.
Thank you for supporting the show.
All right. We're back. And I kind of got off topic there because I get a little steamy.
You get a little heated.
I get a little steamy.
You're a little heated.
Do you think that's hot?
I do think you're hot though.
Hell yeah.
No matter what. Nikki has a video of me like sleep talking to her.
Yeah.
And I'm just like telling her how hot she is.
It's so cute.
She's like, what do you say, babe? And I'm like, you're so fucking hot, babe. So fucking hot, babe.
You're like, let's have sex right now. I'm like, I'm driving right now.
I'm like, I don't care. Let's fucking go, babe.
It's really cute.
Great vid, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it is really cute. So, but I wanted to say that where I was going with the ignoring society is that if you can get in touch with who you are and really like what makes you happy, what brings you joy to the world, I don't think it's too high of an expectation to want to say to yourself, I'm okay with being alone unless someone can really add to that.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I think that too many people are scared of dying alone, that they are willing to sacrifice their happiness for like a temporary happiness that is ultimately toxic for them.
I have to say, the idea of being alone for me it's not like a terrifying concept.
Yeah.
On one hand, like, because I like who I am.
Yeah.
But I now know what life is with you.
Yes.
And that's what's different.
100%.
Because before I used to, and I'm not like throwing shade or nothing, but I've been in relationships, like I was in a relationship. And I like to ask people this all the time. I'm like, hey, let's find out how bad your relationship's going. Do you look forward to going home?
Yeah.
Do you look forward to going home?
That's a great litmus test.
Thank you. And seeing your person. And if they say no, they don't, they dread it. I'm like, dude, I think you guys are done. Because that's where I was.
Yeah.
Like I remember so specifically being my stupid fucking Mini Cooper and driving like towards my like apartment or whatever and being like fucking A, and then I take a deep breath and I go through the door, you know? And I'm like, what's it gonna be tonight? What do I gotta do tonight?
Yeah.
Like, well, it's gonna suck tonight, you know? Like it just completely blew. And like that's not how it is with you. It's just every day is a dream. But like if I didn't have that to compare it to, the idea of being alone sounded kind of sick.
Yeah, well, you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
So like what I'm saying is, yeah, I was okay with being alone unless someone really added to that. There'd be no way to know or what the feeling is like of having someone severely add to that until actually experiencing it, which is what I believe is real love.
Me too.
But yeah, at the poker table, it's so funny because like sometimes like I talk about you and people can't believe that I'm so excited to like actually hang out with my person and like my.
No, it sounds because it sounds like bullshit, right?
It does.
It just sounds like
when the norm is hating your spouse.
It
sounds like bullshit.
It's like what do you mean? And then people like to do this shit like, yeah, okay, it's a real Disney movie and shit. And it's like, it's not a Disney movie, first of all, because that shit's corny. Like we have a real relationship that's like, you know, like okay, for example, this woman right here, I love her more than anything in the world, and I find her beautiful and sexy at all times.
Here it comes.
This morning, I woke up. My alarm clock was her getting peed on by a cat. Her head covered in urine.
Yeah.
And guess what?
I screamed.
I was hard. Okay. Never been more hard. No. but yeah, it's like, it's not like, oh, there's no like gross out moments or whatever. It's like not on you, by the way, but like,
yeah,
like
I didn't fucking pee on me.
It's not a Disney movie. You don't get a Disney movie where your cat like fucking pees on you.
It's more like a sitcom.
It's like a sitcom.
Yeah. It's like like one of those married sitcoms.
Right.
You know.
It's exactly that.
Yeah, yeah. It's like King of Queens over here.
But no, but you know, again, credit to me. Big huge time credit slice for me. Like big slice of the credit pie goes to me.
Yeah.
Because I put this rule in that says no bathroomish stuff. As soon as you get together, treat it like a first date at all times.
Well, can you explain that further for people that are listening for the first time?
What are you talking about? I fart. If my partner loves me, they know I fart.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone knows you fart, dude, but you don't have to fucking fart in your partner's face
to
show them how real you are.
Yeah.
And give them pink eye.
Yeah.
Just because you don't want to show them how real you are, dude.
Yeah.
Like, just chill out.
If you're going to act, so you get what you put out. Like if you act like a roommate, you act like a brother, a sibling.
That's it.
Then you're going to.
You fart in the blanket and then you shove your fucking partner's head under there.
Yeah.
And give them, what do they call it?
A Dutch oven.
Dutch oven.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? We don't live in Dutchland, pal. All right. We live in Nevada.
Yeah. We live in Nevada.
Okay. There's no Dutch ovens here, pal.
Yeah.
The surest shit isn't Dutch food. So yeah, what are you doing that for? What are you doing it for? Tell a story later?
Right.
Who's laughing? You?
Right.
Like what's it for? That's the thing. But yeah, you get what you put in, you get out what you put in. That's roommate shit.
Exactly.
Just knock it off.
You get the kind of love that you're putting out there.
That's it.
You have to give you have to give whatever you're wanting to get, right?
Yeah.
Not to get it.
You only get what you give, as the song goes.
Yeah, there you go. But I think it's all the little things, you know? I think it's like the little things that make me, I feel 100% supported. Like at no point do I feel like if I go to you with something, I'm going to get shut down or I'm going to get a negative reaction from it.
Well, it depends on your mood, but
right.
That's just about openings. That's not about you accepting what I'm going through. It's about you going through something and not being available for like that topic.
Right.
But that's like something I expect because I know you. But like if like you're not like open for business 24/7 365. Like you're like a 9 to 5 like like I have to hit you in the hours, right? Cuz you're just a complicated person but this so far from like being a problem is part of her beautiful process that I love about this woman is that she is so hyper focused on what she's up to. It's like, it's not a surprise when you see all of a sudden Nikki's on TV or Nikki's doing something or Nikki's like doing this or that because Nikki is hyper focused person. And she has my back no matter what. And if anybody ever like thought otherwise, they're nuts. But she has a mental process that cannot really be interrupted easily. Or else it basically throws off her whole day. It's like fucking like, you know, you're doing Lincoln Logs, and then I come in the room and I'm like shaking the table, and you're like, no, the Lincoln Logs, and it's not personal towards me,
100%.
It's you're focused on this project that's like this Lincoln Logs thing,
yeah.
But it's about understanding your partner, and you could really So here's where I could have ruined a good thing. This is what I wanted to get to.
Yes.
I could have really ruined a good thing if I saw that and went, well, I just can't. Why can't she just drop everything and make it about me or whatever, right? Whatever vain vanity thing that we all do to make a mistake in a moment. Now, if it was real, if it's like, hey, I had death in the family or something real, you would do that.
Yeah.
But if it's something like not a big fucking wow, you have to do your process to get your day done so that you feel like you had a productive day.
Right.
And I'm not here to interrupt it.
Well, it's just so hard to like, my thoughts just don't go back together. And then I just get so frustrated with myself. And it's not even about you.
It's not about me, I know.
It's just like, it's that like I can't get it to go back to the amount of focus that it was just then. And it's frustrating and I don't know how to fix that. But yeah, I think that like anytime you've ever really needed me, like
if I need you, it's over.
I have never put anything above you.
No,
like
never.
You are always priority number uno.
Right, and that's what I mean by this. It's like, so I could look at that and go, well, yeah, that's normal. But like when it comes to the small things, why can't I just go up to Nikki and say, do you want eggs at the store? Right? Like, and I know there are people out there who go, I can't even just say like, I want eggs.
Yeah.
You want eggs? And she freaks the fuck out, right? And I would have really messed up my favorite thing in the world if I saw that and just went, that might be a deal breaker for me. Why can't, you know what I mean? Like nitpicky thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I can hang with that.
Well, so I don't know how to feel about that because it's like if someone can't hang with that, maybe it's just not a good fit. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because there are plenty of people that I don't like. I was told by my last boyfriend that no one will ever love me the way that I need to be loved. That like that was just impossible and that I'm just too complicated of a person. And I, you know, I could believe that, which is why I was okay being alone because it wasn't worth the pain of loving someone in a way that I couldn't be loved back. But he was dead fucking wrong. Fuck you, Kai. Like, like, dude.
That feels good.
Yeah.
I'm so petty. I love
my
it.
My guy, like, understands me. I think that that's really what it is that to feel understood.
Yeah.
I think that you understand me more than I even understand myself. Like, sometimes you break down my mental process in a way that I'm like, I've never even understood it that way before, but you're 100% correct. And
well, I can zoom out and you can't.
Yeah.
So that's it. I'm just describing what I'm seeing. And then
not only do I feel understood, but I feel like respected, like where it's like not
it's not silly.
It's not a negative. It's not like it ruins the relationship, because I've often felt like because I can't change this part of me, it's ruining the relationship or whatever. But really it's just finding the right partner that appreciates like who you actually are. Like, so it always felt like I couldn't be 100% authentically me.
Yes.
Like I had to kind of cover up parts that I know aren't acceptable, like aren't like really like that you're not allowed to like have a meltdown, you know?
Right.
But it's like I sometimes need to have a meltdown so I can get over it and move on.
Yeah.
Like otherwise it's just bottled up and I'm just have this frustrated energy and it's unproductive for days instead of just having like a 5-minute meltdown and then moving on and being super productive.
Or a 55-minute meltdown.
Sure. 55-minute meltdown could happen.
It's acceptable as well.
Followed by a nap, and then it's a reset. You know, it's a reset.
Followed by a nap covered in cats to the point where I'm like, is she being suffocated?
Is this real life?
Is she going to die?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've never felt judged by you. You're the only person I've ever been with that I haven't felt judged by in a way that I'm like, damn, this is going to be something that he can use against me in a future fight. You know what I mean?
I can't imagine.
It's like ammo. It's like
I
how much
imagine.
ammo can we collect on each other so that when we get in that future fight, like I can win the war.
If we're good at anything, it's that we have no resentment towards each other.
Yeah.
Like zero. Because we clean out all the wounds whenever we get into a fight.
Yeah.
We get into fights, folks.
Yeah,
we
do.
Get into fights.
It's
we
not
talk
like,
about it on the show.
People think,
all
you guys never
you
fight? Okay,
yeah, whatever.
No.
I bet you guys never. Oh, what? Dude, even remember last summer when you were doing the World Series?
Yeah.
And we're like, we haven't been fucking for like a month.
Yeah.
We were honest on this show.
Yeah. We never thought it would happen because we always are like, you gotta make time. You gotta
get it in.
Once a week at least. You
get
it in. You gotta go on dates.
Go do it.
And look, I mean, 100% with our schedule in LA, the way that our lives were, it was 100% set up for success where we could do that.
Yep.
And I thought like, oh, well, it's just a matter of prioritizing. And like, you always have to just prioritize it. But fucking no. Like, actually, this year, I mean, with WSOP, like, and everything, I mean, there's certain windows of opportunity that I just need to take advantage of when it happens. And like, we would talk to each other about it, and there was a lot of discourse about it. But it wasn't personal, and it wasn't like I'm prioritizing this over you.
No,
it's like this is for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's always team based.
Yeah,
and we're wearing the same jersey.
Exactly.
And we have the same stupid fucking foam finger, and it's for each other.
And it's constant communication.
Exactly.
So communication, not letting resentment ever build.
Conquer it.
Nipping that in the bud.
Do the arrow method if you have to, very, very quickly. I'll do a 30-second summation of it.
Yes.
If you have an issue with your partner, like if you guys have resentment towards each other, you basically take, this is corny, but you go outside. Don't be inside. Go outside. I don't care where you are. Drive to a park or something. Go somewhere and remove these little moments of resentment. Like they're arrows. You pull them out of you.
Yeah.
You say what it is out loud. I resent you because of this, because your mother's a bitch. She's a whore. Because your mother's a whore. And then you take it and you break it over your leg, and you only do that if you're willing to move on from it.
Yeah.
Don't do it if you're not ready to move on.
Yeah.
Because after that, you cannot bring it up again. You do your stupid little petty arguments. Oh, remember, it's just like that time when you're doing this shit. Nope, can't do it anymore. You broke the arrow, bitch. It's move on time.
I also wouldn't break the arrow until you really resolve it with the partner. When the partner says, I'm sorry for doing that, or like, I won't do that anymore, or didn't realize how much it hurt you. I will... like whatever, I apologize. And then, because I don't think you can move on if that isn't actually resolved. So,
and addressed.
If it's addressed, it's resolved. First, yes. And then you really can find it in your heart to be like, I can forgive this and move on.
Then break the arrow. Pull it out, break the arrow, and then don't bring it up. Don't be a snipey little bitch in conversations. Oh, you want to win an argument, right? How many couples do we know?
Yeah.
It's just a debate. It's a debate club. Instead of being a relationship where they're rooting for each other, it's fucking speech and debate.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I told her this. Oh, yeah, you got to hear this, Steve. I had this line, and like, yeah, I told her that. And I'm like, cool, dude, what'd you do? You just showed your chick. Cool. That doesn't do anything to move the needle.
Yeah, you just killed your own team.
Yeah, you're exactly. You just annihilated your own team.
Yeah.
You fucking threw a pick.
Yeah. You tackled the fucking running back while they were about to score.
You're the lineman and you just ran into your quarterback. Cool.
Yeah.
What are you talking about here? But that's the thing. It's adversarial. It's not like being on the same team. It's team-based sport, folks. Marriage, team-based sport.
I know, and I think that again, like it becomes normalized through other people that are in relationships who are never taught healthy conflict resolution or communication methods, and so they all just think, oh yeah, it's men against women. It's like wives against husbands. It's
reason against insanity.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly. Right? And you get together,
and I'm the reasonable one.
And that's why they have girls' nights and boys' nights, and they all talk about like, oh, thank God we're away from those stupid asses that don't know how to love us.
That's the other thing too. Is the I think undue pressure. Is really bad. Like doing the whole like if your partner doesn't want to be physical with you, like for whatever reason, and you take that personally, and then you start sniping at them from that.
Yeah.
Instead of like trying to address like, hey, what's going on here? Like, what is this really about?
Yeah.
You go like, oh, well, yeah. Of course you don't want to do that because of this thing or whatever.
Oof.
Exactly. And you don't know you're drying your chick up like a desert, but you are.
Yeah. I mean, there's always something going on underneath. Like people, like I think really loving somebody is like loving them, whatever they're going through.
Yes.
And wanting to like be on their team for whatever obstacle that
no matter what
the person is going through. And I think that I don't know if it's like being selfish or, you know, maybe because of the Disney movie aspect that only highlights the good parts, that people feel entitled to only getting the best of their partner, instead of realizing that it's like a whole it's a whole
ecosystem
spectrum. It's a whole person.
It's an aquarium.
It's an aquarium,
right?
Yeah.
Got to get the right rocks. Got to get the right
substrate. Got to make sure the plants are okay and the shrimp are okay and the fish are okay.
Air rock.
Get an air rock. Apparently,
that's what my mom said.
Even though it suffocated our last fish, but it's fine.
My mom said it, so probably good advice.
His mom said it, and we're gonna fight on Thanksgiving.
So
she killed my fish.
She killed our fish, and we're gonna confront her.
Yeah, in a healthy way.
In a healthy way.
I'm gonna use I statements.
Yeah.
I feel terrible that you killed my fish.
Yeah.
Your mom's so sweet.
She's the best.
I love her.
I know, she's the best. Anyway, that's all the time we got for today, folks. Hey, don't resent your people out there. Have their back. Wear the jersey. You're on the same team.
And fuck the government.
And fuck the government for some reason.
They killed JFK.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just duh. But who's they?
The CIA.
All right, that's all the time we got for today, folks. Check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/sticky. And we will see you guys on
next week.
The next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.